Howdy y'all, Los here. This is my Bougainvillea I got from Roland Lopez of the Austin Bonsai Society. We repotted it, took it out of its air pot, and repotted it into this wonderful mica container. If it's your first time watching us, thank you so much. Click that like, hit that subscribe, why not? Let's show you the steps that we took to make this into this. Okay, we're here with this Bougainvillea that we got from Roland Lopez, and I think it's time for us to get her out and put it into a nice mica container. So let's go ahead and take it out and see what we've got. There's lots of roots. This thing makes great roots. Found my chopstick. We are in the middle of October here in Austin, Texas, which means we still have a good month and a half to 2 months before we are in the cold season. This is fall time for us. We're still getting pretty nice temperatures in the day, and we're not dipping below 50 at night. Not yet. We're getting there, but that being said, I'm gonna make sure that I don't take off too many roots. So you can see we got tons of this fuller's earth in here. I don't know if I repotted it back into here, and I don't know if that's the kind of stuff that Roland would use, so I don't recall. We'll have to look back in the channel and find out. This isn't the first time we've seen this, and I'm sure we can go back and try to find when we actually got the thing in the first place, when we went to Roland's backyard. Check out that video right there. I know for sure I didn't ever go at the roots that I know of, but if I did, I mean, it definitely shows that I did go in here if this was me, because I do use fuller's earth, so this could be me. All right, so I'm making the switch this year. Well, I have made the switch over to using akadama. I found a pretty good source for it, and I do really like it over the fuller's earth. As much as I like the fuller's earth, and I know it works, trust me, I love it. And I love how affordable it is. I don't know why I prefer the akadama more. It's definitely not the same kind of stuff. I mean, it's definitely a lot more brittle. It breaks down so much faster than this fuller's earth, and I think that's important. But we're going to switch over to akadama this year. I guess the next step is that I'm going to get rid of all this dead rootage and clean up the trunk area here. We'll keep roots that definitely have things growing off them, but anything that's completely dead is going to be completely taken off. So let's do it. So it's clear that something like this should be the front. Oh, you know what? Oh yeah. See, as much as, okay, check this out. There's a couple things to note in this position, because we only have two possible fronts really. We can't have it looking like this or like this. So it's either A or B. Now consider A for a second. A's got some interesting aspects. It has this root that goes straight down towards you. But it also has some ugly knobs, which we're not worried about because those will heal up eventually. But then we have this, B. Now we have something quite simpler here. It's, now that I got rid of that growth that was here, those roots, we have a nice smoother trunk here with a nice taper. Kind of comes up. And I think I like this better. And also we don't see the two knobs, which weren't a big deal in the first place, but they're definitely not even a big deal at all this way. So I think our new front's going to be right here. And maybe, yeah, so that being said, we're gonna take off this little root here because it does not fit the new front side design. Here we go, so get rid of that. Maybe we'll plant that, maybe we'll get something out of it. And you know what? Even having more of a, instead of it being straight on like this, if I give it just a little bit of an angle, you catch some of this back, and it's kind of like Jabba the Hutt kind of. Uba Jabba Jedi mind trick. I kind of like that because then you get some profile from the side here. I really do like that. So we're going to try to make sure it's not straight on at us. We're going to make sure that we have some sort of there. And that creates a little bit more 3-dimension. Instead of it being 2D like that, we just turn that kind of on its angle a little bit like that, diagonally, and then shift her back up, and there you have it. I think we have something interesting again. As I'm looking at this, we got this big old fat root that's not really doing much for us, and it comes, where did it go? Where'd you go? Right here. And that root is sticking straight down, and that's something we don't want. We're going to go ahead and prune that. And if you're watching Loki on Disney Plus, we just got rid of a timeline just like that. We got some roots that are trying to grow back towards the back. After coming to the front here, we're just going to find those and eliminate those. Let's start with some Akadama as a base layer. Get a good base layer on here. And we'll want to put a little bit of a stack there. We want to find our front. I guess it's pretty identical, so we're going to keep this as our front. I'm going to push it towards me for a second while I try to find the front again. Something like this. All right, I'm gonna take a couple minutes to take a look at this thing from many angles, far back, up close, just to make sure I have it in the right position. Let's do it. So after a little bit of thought and deliberation, this is the position that I'm looking to have it at. I want to be able to showcase this back side, tilting the tree forward ever so slightly, and we'll pull the tree back in the pot a little bit. So it's not directly in the front or right in the middle, but definitely a little bit towards the back. A little room to tower over. We'll have this oak tree looking shape, and I think our tree is going to be much happier like that. Okay, I'm going to have to lock this up a little higher. All right, if you can pick up your container with the tree, you got it wired down. So I'm going to be using the lava and pine bark mix. I don't know if it's pine bark, but it's bark. Very fine bark, which I picked up at Sanderson Creek Bonsai. I've been getting a couple questions about the fertilizer I've been using. So this here again is the Ozma coat. This is the Plus, the indoor and outdoor, 6 months it works for. This stuff's great, and I can't tell you how much I enjoy it. It's worked so well in the garden this year. I recommend it to everyone. Not a sponsor. And while I have it out here, I'm just gonna go ahead and add a little sprinkle right at the bottom. I wanna do a little bit of a mix of the lava and the Akadama together. So I'll do a scoop at a time of each. Sort of do like a lasagna layer. Los, why don't you just mix these two together and put them in? Well, great idea. Just gather it all up, push it down there, and you can feel it moving into the spots that are empty. You feel the resistance of the chopstick. It gets harder and harder as you try to shove more material into the spots that you're trying to force it into. All right, so it is repotted. It is now in its nice new container. It's gonna grow really well in this. I just know it. So I'm going to give this a good watering. We're gonna bring back some of these branches, clean it up a bit, and we'll send her home. Let's do it. So we're just gonna pull back some of this growth and clean up some of the old cuts. So we'll just find a leaf, pull it back, and come on a little closer. I wanna show you something here. Now, in order to get a nice movement, we cut it and we give it a little bit of dye back. And what happens, it dies back to the next node and then it starts growing out through there. And what we want to do to create that kink right there is to take off the knob once it heals. So a good spot that I'll show you is right here. So now that we've cut it, it actually diverted. We could pull this back and cut it flush. That'll heal up, and now we've created movement in that. That's the clip and grow, essentially. And that's how we're going to create great movement in this tree. I may want to wire that out this way. We're gonna pull back some of this other growth, but anywhere I see those extra knobs, I'll just go ahead and cut them right off, thus cleaning the branch off a bit and creating a pretty cohesive movement. So this bottom branch is healthy. I mean, very much growth everywhere on it. Makes me worry about the top of the tree. So I want to try to see if I can find where I can make the energy go back up into the tree. Pull some of these longer branches back a bit. Maybe I should just go ahead and defoliate the whole thing. I think that's what we're gonna do. We'll go ahead and defoliate. Because that's going to stimulate the growth there. So without really trying to hurt the tree too much, we're just going to remove the leaves, the foliage. I'm going to try not to damage any of the nodes. Okay, this looks pretty neat. I'd say so for myself here. We have the front, which has given us just a little bit of this back, which I was looking for. We wired and defoliated. Well, we've defoliated and then wired the branching. giving it a little bit more movement. I brought this one down a little bit more. I spread out these a little bit further because this is the most developed side of the tree, which is the primary branch. Then as we get into the secondary branch right here, with a little bit better, and then we have our apex region up here, which I spread out a little more, and I kind of did one of these sort of cupping hands. So I think that's going to do it for today. It looks great. I left 2 little flowers just to remind you that this is a Bougainvillea, because you may not even know without looking at the foliage. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. If you like our content, please keep watching. Thank you for watching. Be cool, stay hip. Get yourself a hobby. Bye.